throughout the years, there have been many people who have come and gone that I guess try to duplicate what we do. In this episode, I'm just going to be clear. This episode is not to bash competition. I think competition is healthy. Um, and there's not a ton of people in our field. When I say business, when I say people, I mean businesses that do what we do or try to do what we do. But to be fair, this whole episode is really about how to investigate and how to do your due diligence on a loan broker training company, because we get a lot of people that are either misinformed or don't really realize, what the lay of the land is. And we want to make sure you make the best decision possible with your investment. And so here are some tidbits of what to ask, how to do your due diligence of a training company, because we've seen some things that are out there right now that are just doesn't add up. There are just too many commercial loan brokers that don't have a damn clue of what they're doing. All we're trying to do here is better the industry for everybody. At the end of the day, you can make great money in this industry, but in the end, it's all about helping people. People always say, Chris, how can I be a successful broker? It's two words: hard work and dedication. If you don't like talking to people, you probably shouldn't be in this business. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Entrepreneurs in Finance. This is Chris Roglari, where we explore the daily lives of CCTG graduates, lenders, and even employees that work here. This is a very special episode titled How to Do Due Diligence on Your Loan Broker Training Company. And before I get into kind of set the tone of what this episode is going to be, I want to introduce the people that I have at the table here with me. First and foremost, making his first appearance, not with our company, but on this podcast, is Mike the Geis Geisler.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
Hey, Michael.
First time.
So those of you that may get involved in a conversation with us, Mike is the president of enrollment of our company. So this is the guy you're going to speak to, leading your path all the way to hopefully this conference room or virtual training. And so, Mike, just want to kind of just explain how long you've been with the company and what your official role is.
My official role is, as Chris said, president of enrollment. And I've been doing this since, the last 10 years, a little over 10 years, actually. And came from commercial banking world, as everybody knows. And, this has been just an amazing career change for me. Just, having conversations like this with people that are interested in this training program, and, me sharing as much experience and knowledge as I possibly can, and absolutely love it.
And how many graduates do you think you've put through this training?
I would say probably me personally, since I started doing this, taking over the whole country, I would say probably about 950 people.
Wow. Yeah. 950 people.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
What's one funny quirk that people normally wouldn't know about you?
Well,
I know a couple, but
there's a lot.
No, hold on. Do I get a chance at this?
Yeah. Where do I start? Like, I'm glad my wife isn't here, but she'd take over the mic and just keep going. But I think a funny quirk about me is I'm definitely a person that is set in my ways. So if I have to wake up at almost the same time, I have coffee and 3 cups of coffee every morning, and I go through this. I'm definitely a routine type of person. Even how I handle my, with calls and my work day, I want to make sure that I handle everything and discuss everything I can with the graduates. And I definitely go through, a very similar routine, but the conversations are all different.
You sure that's not called obsessive compulsive disorder?
It definitely is. It definitely is. And another thing is, I'm very clumsy, as Joe just experienced with me with the microphone here as I ripped it off. And I'm trying to get
Not your fault. My fault.
Yeah, not a technology person whatsoever. I'm a past commercial banker. Everybody uses different types of digital, formats to help them do their business. And I'm a manila folders on my desk guy. So
really,
that's just how I
operate. And also too, I think a unique perspective in the sales process, why, I wouldn't call it sales, but when we educate people on what this opportunity is about, is you actually do this too a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not just you talking about the program, but you actually do this yourself and work with, through stuff with Prime and our own company, so you kind of talk the talk and walk the walk, which can't be faked.
Yeah,
So,
it can't be. And, as a commercial banker, I was a relationship manager, and that's basically what a commercial banker is. And, I took that skill set over to this where, one of the biggest things I love is helping business owners, and giving them a perfect solution that a lot of times they didn't even know existed.
right,
Gosh.
Right.
So,
right,
the same thing with talking to people about this training program is just, discussing with them and letting them know that there's a whole nother industry out there that people don't even know exists, which is
sure.
this commercial finance, what we do. So it's a relationship from the past commercial banking days, and it's a relationship with talking to all the possible graduates of our training program. It's all about building relationships.
Right.
Sure.
So,
Absolutely. All right. Well, welcome to
Thank you.
to the
thanks.
show, as we say around here.
Yeah.
And then you've heard his voice.
Yep.
You've have encountered him multiple times on
Yeah.
this show. My right hand man for the podcast, Mr. Joe Schaefer.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? Good. Mike,
We're doing
great.
good.
6 o'clock this morning, knocking
We're-
on the front door.
Yeah, it's early.
We're here early.
It's early,
Yeah.
but it's an important
Yeah.
podcast.
Well, we get here early. We stay here late.
Here's
Yeah.
my question. Why don't they give me a key card to get in?
Well,
I got to ask Chris about that.
Listen, we can make that happen.
They don't want me messing with the technology in here before someone gets here.
Well, I appreciate you both joining. And I said, Joe, you may be able to add some insight in here.
Sure. I hope so.
When we talk about some digital world, just based on your marketing and digital experience. But, so everybody, this episode is very, very important. And I thought it'd be a good time to do this when I was talking with our staff, because, the landscape changes. When I say the landscape changes in our industry, we are what we call a commercial loan broker training company. And throughout the years, there have been many people who have come and gone that I guess try to duplicate what we do. In this episode, I'm just going to be clear. This episode is not to bash competition. I think competition is healthy. But and there's not a ton of people in our field. When I say business, when I say people, I mean businesses that do what we do or try to do what we do. But to be fair, this whole episode is really about how to investigate and how to do your due diligence on a loan broker training company, because we get a lot of people that are either misinformed or don't really realize, what the lay of the land is. And we want to make sure you make the best decision possible with your investment. And so here are some tidbits of what to ask, how to do your due diligence of a training company, because we've seen some things that are out there right now that are just doesn't add up, and misleading the consumer. And we want to make sure that, again, you're well informed and you're well equipped to do your due diligence on training companies. So, first and foremost, I mean, I'd like to say to the viewers that are watching this, there's a whole gamut of different things out there, right? There are, people on YouTube that claim to be a guru and they'll teach you this. So there's all different levels, right? There's like the, sign up for a couple $100 a month and we'll get you rolling type operations, to operations that say you don't need to spend 25, 68 or $100,000. You can do this for $10,000. And there's certainly companies that, there's also companies, I think, that mislead people about the industry. Maybe that, you don't have to do any work and this is so easy and you just collect checks. And, so there's those out there. And there's companies that just spread false information, particularly about our company, when asked about our company. And, I appreciate healthy competition, but I don't appreciate misleading competition or spreading false things just to try to sell somebody, right?
My experience with you, Chris, in the industry is you have been proactive in trying to make this industry have a better light, more ethical, so on and so forth. And then you and you and I have seen some things that wow, trust your gut kind of thing.
Right.
But due diligence means you have to do some research too.
Right.
You have to,
We
not
have
just
to.
your gut. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not enough.
No, you got to do research, and we're certainly used to for people doing research on us. I mean,
Yeah,
right, Mike? I mean, we've had CIA people, ex-CIA people
Sure.
come through here.
I
I
welcome
mean,
it. I want you to.
Yeah, we do, and that's part of why we do this podcast. Because it's people are skeptical, right, Mike?
Well, they are, and it's funny when you talk about, or people bring up, I should say, the competition. I think they expect me to put them down, and one of the things I say is call them,
Yeah.
but talk about these important things
Right.
and ask them about that.
Right.
Have that conversation with them. Just don't take my word for it, and we're not going to put anybody down. It's just what a huge difference, and as soon as they really start doing their due diligence, and we'll bring up some of these points here shortly.
Yeah.
Well, it's really going to be very apparent to people how different we really are compared to anybody.
Yeah. And I'm not even talking about the content of our program. I just mean that's definitely different, but I just mean just in general what people are saying, and do they have the credibility to back it up. So that leads me to the first point. Yep. I've seen people come and go, and they advertise online, and there's people right now today that are advertising online, YouTube and online, saying that we've been doing this for years. Right. I mean, we've been doing this for all these years. We've been training people for years, and and obviously they're selling at a lower price point. And so the first question is, it's an obvious question. There's easy ways to see how long somebody's been in business. I mean, easy ways. I think number one is go to the Secretary of State, find out what state they're registered in, go to Secretary of State, the Division of Corporations, look up the name. First of all, ask them how long have you been in business, and then verify that, right? Because I think that really does count. I mean, we're going on 12 years now, in the training business, doing this year after year. You could look us up, you could see when we were incorporated, not a big deal, but ask that of other companies, and that kind of washes out. We've been doing this for 5 years, 10 years, right? I mean, that's a very, very easy thing to do. And Joe, maybe comment on the digital assets of things, right? Because you can see really how long somebody's been doing stuff digitally, at least, right? There's a footprint.
There should be a footprint, at least.
Right.
If there's not a footprint, that's a key thing to be a little nervous about.
Right.
A red flag.
Yeah, a big red flag. So I've been doing marketing. I've been in digital for close to 20 years. And here's my rule of thumb with just all this aside, don't tell me, show me. Show me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so with digital, especially, there's a number of things you can do, especially with, look at reviews, Google reviews,
we'll talk about those.
We'll talk about those. A gut instinct about fake ones, because you can spot the stinkers out there.
Well, let's segue into that.
Sure.
Let's just segue into that. Let's talk about reviews, right? Let's talk about reviews. Let's talk about testimonials.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of people out there that, number one, there's people that say, John C. And then there's in quotes, this was the best, awesome training ever,
But can you call John C?
Can you call John C? Can you call John C? Does John C actually exist, right? So there's all different levels of reviews. And so I want to talk about that, right? There's what we call Google reviews. There's testimonials. If people have been training people for all these years and they have one or two videos out there of people saying, how great they are, is that enough, right? I mean, is that enough? I mean, we have almost 200 Google reviews. Joe, how do you vet the Google reviews? I mean,
like I said, there's a gut instinct that anybody that's a consumer that looks at reviews, even if you're looking at Amazon, you can start to spot the ones that look like they stand out. And you made a good point. John C. All right, well, call the company. Say, can I talk to John C?
Right.
Vet things that way. Just look at history. Look at the reviews. How far back do they go?
Right.
Are they from 6 months ago? Too fresh.
Too fresh, right? I think the other thing too with the reviews is that, how you could spot and see if people left other reviews for other types of companies.
Absolutely.
Right.
Good idea.
So if you see 100 reviews on a company, but none of them, they're all first time, or they don't have a picture, or, all of them. I mean, just some of them, may not do a review, except if they're, maybe for one company.
Some people do.
Some people do.
But if you can spot the trends, people have a good gut instinct. As consumers, we are wary of marketing and advertising. So we've all gotten pretty good at it. And if something seems way too good to be true, that's where you start with the gut instinct. That would tell me to start looking for the show me stuff. Don't
Right.
tell me. Don't tell me anymore. I want to show me.
Yeah.
You know, for 10 years, people see our testimonies and now that
Yeah.
we're doing the podcast and stuff,
Yeah.
and they're always like, hey, Mike, can I go talk to that person?
Yeah.
Can I talk to them? Absolutely.
Mhm.
Let me reach out to them personally. And we would love to do that for you.
Sure.
That's a huge part of people's due diligence. And
Yeah.
if you can't talk to actual graduates of of a training program,
Right.
most likely they don't have any. Or they don't want to, they
Right.
don't want to do that.
Well,
Right,
yeah. And people always say, well, oh, we do classes every month. You can see their schedule and say, all right, well, prove to me, as a consumer, prove to me you do classes every month.
Yeah.
We can. I mean,
Right.
we shoot a video every month of the intros of our class.
Sure.
And there's
Exactly.
15, 20 people a month. I mean,
Yep.
we shoot those intros of people that say, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm from this state.
Yep.
And, and here's why I chose this program. I mean, you can't fake that.
No,
Right. Particularly when we started doing virtual, right? When COVID hit, we recorded all the, every month people that are taking our program. This to show realness. Like, look, we're actually doing this every month.
We're going to do it today.
We're doing it. Yeah. I mean, today we start our March training.
Class starts.
But that can't be faked, right?
Yeah.
That really can't be faked when you have different people every month. So ask that of the training company, right? Show me proof that you're doing trainings every month.
Yeah.
Show me proof that you're doing trainings. And, that's why we invest so much time and money into testimonials, right?
Yeah.
You can go on our website and see a lot of testimonials. And like you mentioned, Mike, that's why we started this podcast.
Exactly.
So we have real interviews of graduates. It can't be fake.
You know that I have my hands in the analytics of that site almost daily, right?
Mhm.
I can tell you without a doubt that testimonial page is the most popular page that we have, that people spend the most time
A lot
on.
of time on.
They
Yeah.
consume all of it, and they should.
They should.
They should.
They absolutely should.
Absolutely should.
I think one of the other important points to ask a training company is their credibility in the industry. I mean, why, because think about it. You're a consumer, right? You guys that are watching this, if I were you, I would want to invest into the most well-equipped company that's been doing this and is an expert in their field. So how do you judge that, right? Well, we talked about time in business, right? What about when people talk about support, Mike, right? That's a big
Huge.
deal. What's the
Absolutely.
support I'm going to get? There's all these companies out there that say, we'll give you support, lifetime support, we'll support you. Well, how many employees do you have?
Yeah.
What's your infrastructure to supply support? Now, for us, it's very easy, right? I mean, you can check all the employees out here. They're all on LinkedIn, right? I mean, we have employees. You want to, speak to employees, right?
One better. Come visit us.
Come visit us. Right.
And look at their experience in the
Well, that
Look at
too.
their
Yeah, yeah,
experience in the
absolutely.
industry. Come
Yeah.
visit us,
Right.
or do now. I know there's the excuse of, well, I don't want to travel with COVID. Well, get the CEO on a phone and make them do a Zoom call.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
look at their employees, verify them on LinkedIn. You could probably get that question a lot, Mike,
I
right?
get a lot. And, just sitting at this table right now, Chris, how many years experience do you have in commercial lending?
Over 20 years.
I have 26 years in commercial lending, just us two.
Yeah.
Then you add the tremendous support team that we have that are
Right.
all experienced past commercial lending and
Yeah.
current commercial lending people.
Right.
They close business with the same lenders. So,
Yeah.
I get this question a lot, and people ask about experience, and I've heard if I heard it a million times, people that are looking at other companies and start doing their due diligence. There's a company out there where the owner of the company has 35 years experience in leasing. Well, how good was leasing during COVID, right? And so when you have a diversity of lending experience like this entire team has, boy, that's the reason, one of the main reasons why we had such a tremendous amount of people go through this training program since COVID,
Yeah.
Right.
because the diversity of lenders, right? And the experience that our team has. It's just, it really makes a world of difference when you're looking at this as a career of the experience of the people behind the company.
That's the
Yeah.
key word here is the
That's the key.
diversity.
And people say, well, the other companies may say you don't have to spend that much, $25, $68, $100,000. And granted, just so everybody knows, I mean, it is a lot of money. But in the world of franchises and opportunities, it really isn't a lot of money.
It's not just for the training.
That's
though.
not the lower thing. Well, no, it's not just
right.
for the training.
I mean, there's
There's
no secret formula here.
in order to provide the support level that we've been grown to people know to be of our support team, and that costs that costs money, right? I mean, you have to bring
Sure does.
talented people on, and it's not just me providing support, right? Where most of these people, it's like, oh yeah, you got lifetime support. Well, how are you handling all these graduates when it's just yourself, or when you have maybe just you? There's no employees, or maybe you have two employees. How are you legitimately handling that support, or legitimately doing marketing? How are you doing that, right?
Chris, there's a company out there that told someone who told me this, that the owner of the company said, "Hey, I'm going to be your support person. Trust that I'm going to be your support person." Well, what happens when he's doing training? Who's supporting that graduate?
Where do those calls go?
Well, how are you
Who's
even running
answering
your?
that
How are
phone?
you even running your? How are you even trying to run the business if
He's on
you're, if
vacation.
you're doing?
It's
you know,
simple. You
yeah.
can't. You
It's
just
just
can't do it.
No.
Crazy stuff.
Logistically, it doesn't work.
Yeah, you can't do it. So this is we look at this more as a lifestyle change and a career change, not just like, oh, maybe you do this and make some side money. I mean, it's a full-time investment in and infrastructure. I think it's important to investigate the infrastructure of a company, right? I mean, for instance, with us, again, you can't fake it. I mean, like you said, I've been in the business 20 years. I think, what makes us different? Well, I own a lending company. I've actually owned two before I sold one, right? So a direct lender, meaning a direct lender, we're the check writer, right? The class is taught from not only a broker's perspective, because we do both, right? My own firm does brokering, like we teach in a pretty big way, and we do direct lending in a pretty big way. So, on the real estate side and the merchant cash advance side. So, the training is taught from what I call a fair and balanced perspective, from a broker's perspective and a direct lending perspective, which two of them have different risk tolerances, right? I don't think anybody else can say that. I mean, fine, you want to go to a training company that maybe is just a broker, you're only going to be taught from a broker's perspective.
Yeah, I got a lot of people that ask me, "Hey, if I go through the training program and I'm going to be a broker, can I be a lender someday?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." And no better person to ask than the owner of this company who does just that.
Right.
And
That's
a
true.
lot of people want to get involved in actual lending and develop certain capabilities.
And we've had graduates that do that. We actually have a few lenders out of the 50 or so that they get direct relationships with. I think there's like two where they were former graduates. The graduates became so successful. Tyler Dieters was one of them. Terry Luker's another one.
Oh yeah.
Where they've become so successful now, they're their own lender, right? And what better credibility of how you can take this is actually becoming your own lender. So we've had that, right? I mean, we've had that before, and that's another thing. Look at the people that have gone through. I mean, we've had NFL stars. We've had Hall of Famers, NFL stars come through here. We've had CIA agents we joked about that have come through here. I mean, we've had all different walks of life.
President of banks. I mean,
That's what I
President of
say.
banks,
Everything from teachers to airline pilots to, like you said, celebrities.
So again, do your due diligence on the infrastructure of the company, right? I mean, how many employees do they have? Are they really credible at what they teach? Can they back up? There's an old saying, right? I mean, those that teach can't do, right? Sometimes you hear that, right? Well, you're just teaching. Well, but we do this in a big way, and we do this. We have deals in with the lenders that we give our graduates all the time.
Which you're teaching and doing though at the same time. I mean,
with our finance company
all the time.
Exactly right.
I think the other thing too is look at marketing. It's a big deal, right? Because you could teach and give lenders, but when you look at marketing, I mean, we have our own. The finance marketing group is the nation's only specialized digital marketing agency in commercial finance. So we just we just don't teach marketing. We do it for lenders, for banks, and for our graduates. That's expertise. I think a lot of people don't get that, right, Mike? I mean, they don't understand that.
No, when they talk to other companies out there, one of the things that the companies love saying is, "Hey, we do what CCTG does, but cheaper." Right. And I go, well, let's dig into that. Let's talk about marketing a little bit. Well, they have a phone app. I'm like, okay, well, phone app's not going to help you with business. We have experts in every single part of digital marketing to help their company.
This is an all-inclusive business opportunity.
All-inclusive. If you're not marketing your company, you're not going to be successful.
No.
How to get the word out there, right?
And we've got people, combined well over 100 combined years of just digital marketing. We've got traditional people too, billboards, TV, radio.
Right.
We've got it all.
Right. So do you want somebody behind your business that has experience in B2B finance for, because every one of our employees on the marketing company side have sat through this training, which is huge.
Oh yeah.
They've sat through this training, right? Because they have to. That's so important that I don't think a lot of people realize initially,
Right.
When the different packages when we talk about marketing. I think the other big thing too is the fact that we're and I know I may come across cocky or bragging, but we've earned it. We've worked hard to get there, so I'll say it. I don't give a shit. You know, we've established the largest broker association in the world.
Yeah.
NACLB,
Yeah.
National Alliance of Commercial Loan Brokers. Right? Didn't exist. People always used to say, is there an association I could join for a diversified commercial loan broker? Prior to 6 years ago, it didn't exist. So I established one. It was easier said than done, hard work to get there, and we're still not done. But I mean, so we've established the only and largest commercial loan broker association in the country.
Yeah, people ask me all the time, what is that about? Well, not only is it a great reunion conference, right?
Yeah,
All our
that's
past
true.
graduates,
Yeah,
right.
and we have a lot of fun doing
Right.
it. We have a lot of fun, but it's a phenomenal educational conference as well, because you have a lot of the times we have lenders that do their kickoff, right? New lending capabilities, and lenders can present in front of the entire conference. We have breakout sessions and guest speakers.
Yeah.
And, you get to meet all the other graduates and really just kind of develop a network with them.
Yeah, it's a home for these guys after they leave here.
One-on-one time with all those lenders. One-on-one time.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, here is kind of the beginning, right? We train you ethically and get you into the industry, and that's like NACLB is your home, right? That's your association that progresses the interest of everybody in the field, commercial loan brokers, right? So you could look at us from that standpoint. We founded and share the largest commercial loan broker association, which is I think which is a big deal when it within itself. And the other thing is we also we founded the only industry trade magazine, Dealmaker.
Yeah.
The Dealmaker, right? I mean, it's so the Dealmaker is the only trade magazine for the commercial loan broker industry. So, again, it's you get what you pay for, right?
Right.
I mean, sure, you want to pay $100 a month for some guy in his basement selling you that you're going to make $1 million in 6 months, or you get what you pay for in this industry.
That's $100 a month forever.
$100 a month forever.
Right.
Yeah,
and it's not all inclusive.
It's not all inclusive. I think another big thing, guys, that I just thought of, BBB.
Oh, right.
Are you an accredited member of the BBB? I mean, we work very hard to maintain our A+ rating, right? In the BBB. So just Google a company. I mean, that's simple enough, right?
I'll give you a quick tip.
Yeah.
Take the domain name of the company without the www and do a site search. It's called site search, SITE : and then the domain name. Look at all the pages that Google might have in their index. How many are there? How much content do they actually have? Is it fresh? Go to GoDaddy, who is. Find out when the domain name was registered. Was it last year? 6 years ago? It doesn't matter if it was 6 years ago. We can find out when content was put up. If you looked hard enough, you can find out when an actual site went live. I mean, you can do all these things.
Yeah.
It's out there. If you don't know how, ask a tech buddy. Ask a family member.
Sure.
They'll help you.
Yeah.
Ask us.
Absolutely.
Ask us. Call me. I will walk you through this.
Yep.
And so, again, it's I think another, look at the credibility, look at, like I said, there's organizations like the BBB that,
credibility is
where you
everything.
have to maintain ethics and how you do things. And we're a proud member of that. The other thing too is, look at, I mean, do you want to go with somebody that's been doing this for, a couple years or 12 years? Do you want to go with a company that's trained, over 1,000 graduates, or somebody that's trained, 50? I mean, that's, that's
just
a big
having
deal.
the ability to find financing for someone is one thing, but like I keep going back to the all-inclusive part, we help launch the entire business digitally, and I keep going to digital because that's my thing.
Right.
But I mean, we live in a digital world. You mentioned an app before. So what? If people don't know you have the app, who cares?
Yeah, exactly right. And what happens after training, I always tell people, is the most important thing that we do, and really kind of is the reason we have the reputation that we have, is all what happens after training. From the marketing team coming in to the support team helping you do deals. I mean, you got their cell phone, you got their email. They are there to help you close deals. That's the only reason they're here, right? And so, if you don't have all that infrastructure after training to help people be successful, it's so much more than a training week. It's everything that happens after that.
Training week is a small part.
Exactly.
I mean, you're right. It's everything that happens. Everything that happens after. I mean, if we are in the business of not doing what we say we're going to do, contractually obligated to do, and the quality, we wouldn't be around. I mean,
You would see that online.
You would see that online,
and you don't.
You know what I mean? You would see that online, and so, I think it's absolutely important. The other thing too, Mike, I know graduates have asked, but maybe ask to speak to a lender. What
happens all the time.
What's a lender to? What's their experience of working with the graduates? You know?
Yep. Lending capabilities and diversity is everything, and to talk to lenders and to talk to them about what they have experienced during the training week, I think that's important, and what they do, but all the deals that the graduates give them and how they fund the deals. So, I mean,
and I think that's
all about the money.
But that's indicative of why they keep participating in our training. Because what a lot of people don't know is these lenders don't deal with newbies.
No,
they really don't. So they do waive their time experience, their experience and requirements for. You couldn't just walk up to these lenders and say, "Hey, I want to do a deal." I mean, they want to see people with experience, but they've waived that due to our track record. So a simple thing, I know, Mike, you use it all the time. The fact that these lenders come back month after month and present live in person and continue to waive those because they're getting business. I mean, they are.
They're getting
they don't do it because I'm a nice guy.
Right.
They're getting business. That's in itself serves proof that people are closing deals.
And why are they part of this training program is they know, the lenders know, that they always have a second set of eyes on all the deals coming to them, right? That's where the support team comes in to help them, all of our graduates to structure a deal and make sure all that information that lender needs is gotten to them in the right way.
Right.
So that's why we have that diversity of lenders, and very complex lenders too, because they know it's not just the training week where we're teaching everybody. It's having that support team person that's there that is extremely knowledgeable about every single lending product to get that deal done and help those graduates.
And diversity is key. I mean, you have guys that say they do, some of these programs that have popped up I've seen recently, business loan brokers, what about real estate? Right. I mean, what about real estate? I mean, so we learned during COVID,
right?
And you've heard me talk about it in the podcast, Mike. One of our first disruptions in the industry since our inception, we came on the boat in 2009, is COVID. And how many graduates have thanked us for saying, I didn't really appreciate the diversity until I had to maybe stop doing real estate and do this, or stop doing this product and do this, because you got to go where the trend is, right? And if you don't have a full equipped package, you're going to be severely exposed to, whatever's going on in the economy if you can't have the ability to kind of morph and go where the trend is.
We always talk about this industry. What we do took off in 2009. Well, that was right after the crash in 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
And I've told people up to the point of last year in COVID, the reason we have the diversity of lenders, the next time the economy goes south for whatever reason, obviously no one anticipated the pandemic, but the next time that goes south, we have the diversity of lenders to weather the storm. And then you're back to growth related products.
And you could see with our podcast, a lot of graduates have weathered the storm because they had to sidestep and concentrate on whether it be PPP loans or other things to kind of get them through.
When I book them, I always ask, how did you weather COVID? And all of them have said, fantastic.
Yeah.
They did great.
Or their business has doubled. That's another thing,
That's true.
So, and that's why when we talk about opportunities, this is not talking about other, we're not comparing this to franchises. That's another episode, but we are truly recession resistant. I mean, and the proof is just kind of our graduates and how they weathered the storm through things.
Yeah. And the marketing helps with that too. During, when the economy goes down, the marketing can be turned up and we can help everybody even much more so.
Well, I get a lot of people asking me, well, how did you do that? You go back to March of last year, really the height of the pandemic, right? Take a look at the SBA payroll loan protection program that was being rolled out, right? And all the news are coming out, and a lot of news that was incorrect. All of our graduates are already up to speed. We have direct SBA lenders. They're already up to speed and privy to all that information. And all the podcasts that we did and the live webinars, getting all the graduates up to speed on that brand new product. They're ready to rock and roll. We're starting to close deals before the news agencies really got it right.
Continuing education. That's what we offer. It's like I said, it's
because
we're inclusive.
We're close to the beat. I mean, we're we're there real time,
Two steps ahead.
more than news, believe it or not, because we're hearing what's going on with lenders. We're having conversations in order to, broadcast the right procedures and how to take advantage of this to our graduates. Because we have, over 1,000 people waiting for our word to say, hey, how do we work this, and so we're kind of leaders in that. And I think too, another big thing is, and again, it all comes down to, determining what's real and what's fake out there, right? And there's a lot of people that I've come across that have put up, decent websites, from the beginning, and they kind of try to mislead people on how long they've been doing this. But again, it all comes down to the sheer numbers, right? How many testimonials do you have? Can we talk to graduates? Look at what you've done in the industry, right? When you compare at least another training company to another. What else have you done? I mean, you're saying that you're training people, and I go back to, we have an association with, over 1,000 members, majority of them CCTG graduates. I mean, you can't fake that. Go look at some of our videos of our conferences. You can't, you can't fake 1,000 actors, what I mean? coming to training. So, Mike, is there anything else that you encounter? Can you think of that you encounter when you're talking to people?
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a lot of things. But
there's a lot of things, but one of the things that comes to mind, which is pretty funny, is there's a company out there that's telling people, "Hey, they train Chris."
Right.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Right.
Oh yeah.
No kidding.
We train Chris. So I just asked him a question. How long have you been in the industry? 20 years. We've been doing this training program since 2009. So how's that possible?
No, impossible.
Anyways, I get a kick out of that, but
we also heard we're a Nigerian scam.
Oh,
we've heard
I haven't heard that
we're a Nigerian scam. We're in New York, we've heard that.
Another thing too is, people say, well, a lot of the competition out there says, hey, you guys do all the marketing we do is just social media. We do Facebook.
Oh, absolutely not true.
Well, if that was the case, we wouldn't be here, right? Because you're not going to be successful with that platform. But, I think, on my side of it and getting to people and having that initial conversation, it's about me explaining what we do, not selling people into what we do. And I always tell people, hey, if you're looking for a career in commercial finance, then you're talking to the right company. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's not like we're not selling an infomercial here.
Exactly.
We're not selling an infomercial. And be wary of some of these people that are just selling on, you can make a bunch of money and you can make a bunch of money and you can make a bunch of money. It's not as easy as that. I mean, it takes hard work, dedication to be successful in this business, hard work. And it's not easy. It takes hard work to do this. We give you the right tools to do it, but it really takes hard work to do this. So be wary of, the people that say, you can make 500,000 in 4 months, or 3 months. I mean, that's kind of, I'd run from that. I mean, this is a long-term investment, not a short-term kind of thing.
It's not short-term whim.
It's a new career.
Right. It is. Yep. It's a business opportunity. You're running a business, or starting and running a business. Yep. What you put in is what you get out.
Yep.
What you put in is what you get out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, is there anything else you guys can think of that comes to mind? I mean, I think we covered some good points here.
One thing that just keeps coming back to is the $100 a month thing or whatever their monthly fee. That's like renting a piece to an apartment. Why don't you just own the whole house? I mean, take the whole property, because that's where you're going to find the success is when you open a business and I keep going back to all inclusive and holistic, a whole package, not bits and pieces.
It's you're absolutely right. And another thing too, and we touched base a little bit on franchising, which, I don't want to get into a whole conversation, but there's some franchise companies out there that say they do what we do. And my first comment to them is, why would you pay them a part of your deal or royalties forever? Because it is forever. It's not just, so when people compare cost of what we do and all the things that are included, 25,000, 68,000, or 99,000, all the things that come with those packages, that's what you pay. You don't pay anything else.
You don't pay. It's a one-time fee.
It's a one-time fee. There's no royalties.
There's no royalties on profits.
And the support for the life of your business.
Right.
It's there.
Yeah. And what a lot of people don't get is the marketing that our agency does. Since we have a 30 man agency almost.
Mm.
You know, that marketing is almost subsidized. It's, you know, we don't outsource anything.
No.
We do everything direct, you know, so we have control over it here. And you know, you're really getting, if you were to look at it a la carte wise and either the packages of what you get, it would be sometimes double, triple the amount of what the cost is for the training. I mean, you know, we're because we don't outsource, everything's done internal. We're able to.
And the finance marketing group, listen to the name of the company. They know marketing. They know that business. That's all they do.
Right.
That's all we've done. We can do this.
Yeah, you're part of that team.
I am part of that team.
Yeah, you're a part of that team.
Good job.
Oh, thank you. Proud to be here.
So yeah, I mean, I think so, you know, what are the takeaways here? Let's, you know, we could wrap this up. We don't have to keep going on and on and on, but the takeaways is look at, do your due diligence, right? You know, cheaper is not necessarily better. Not necessarily better, right? So do your due diligence, ask the tough questions, you know, look at employees, look at the reviews, ask proof that they're doing trainings every month. What's the proof that they're actually doing it? How many successful graduates are there, right? I mean, you know, is there just 2? Is it 1? Are they actually a graduate, or is this somebody posing as a graduate? Look at things like the BBB. Are they part of the BBB, right? Yep. Look at their credibility in the industry. What else are they doing? They say they're experts. Well, why are they an expert? Is it because they're telling you they're an expert, or is there third-party validation going on, right? Why are you an expert? You know, what else have you done? Are you actually a lender? Have you been lending? You know, do you know that side of things? You know, us, it's, again, I mean, we have other companies here. You know, we've been quoted in Forbes magazine. You know, we're a fastest growing company, Inc. magazine, which I think will, cross my fingers, I think we're going to make that again.
Nice.
Nice. For 2020.
That's great.
You know, so, I mean, you know, again, why are you an expert? You know, do you want to be part of, why makes you successful? What makes you successful?
And then, you know, the people doing the vetting, they got to ask themselves that question. What do I need for success? And you know, what it comes down to is everything you're naming are credibility signals. Right. You're looking for credibility. You wouldn't go to a restaurant.
Quality. You're looking for quality.
That too.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And ask
You're
them,
looking for quality. I mean, you know,
and have them ask me how to open the doors to help them with their due diligence process.
Right.
Talking to references, talking to lenders, talking to the team. I mean, a big part of it is, hey, talk to the marketing director, talk to Chris.
Some people have taken years to vet. They've taken their time, right?
Right. And yeah, it's funny. We've had people that look at us for 5-6 years.
Yeah. 4.5 years is the longest that I worked with somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost every single week, different questions. And that's why I'm here to help. But 4.5 years, she ended up coming through our training program last, I think, October. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
And just Google them. What else is out there? I mean, if they just have a website and that's it,
anybody can do that.
I don't know, you know, and like you said, Mike, when things starting to open up, go visit them.
Yeah. That's what I like.
I mean,
I like when people come visit.
We have a beautiful office here. We would love it. We can't wait for COVID to be over. You know?
Yeah, we think that's going to be pretty soon.
Sooner than later.
Hopefully soon. You know, we could get back to live training. That's one thing that I miss. So, all right. Well, Mr. Mike, I appreciate you.
Always a pleasure.
Joined us. I know you're busy on the phones and talking to a lot of people and guiding them through. And I think one thing I love about what you do, I just have to say, is it's not really sales. I mean, you know, we call you head of enrollment because you're guiding people, you're answering questions. It's not really it's not a wham bam hard sell. You're going to make $1 million tomorrow.
I won't hound people. I'm not going to be calling you all the time and see if you made the decision this month. It's hey, I'm here to, you know, help in your due diligence process. Starting a new career is a very stressful thing.
Right. Absolutely.
They say death, divorce, and starting a new career.
Right.
And we've all gone through all that.
Yeah.
And you know, I think it's super important just to be there as a source to help people and answer questions and guide them along the way, not sell them. That's
I agree. I like that.
Yeah, it is what it is. Joe, appreciate it.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate you, Mike. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Joe.
Thank you.
All right. Well, everybody, hopefully that helped you in your process. Again, this wasn't an episode about how great we are, which we are great, but it is an episode of more of what are the right questions to ask of a training company, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And a lot of times you just got to go back to basics. Go back to basics and start asking those questions. But in any event, you know, hopefully this helped you out in your journey and your process, and hopefully you make the right choice. All right. And so with that being said, look forward to more episodes coming out talking about topics like this and our famous podcast. If you haven't done so already, please follow us on YouTube and comment if you like the content that you have there, because we work very, very hard and just bringing you legitimate content to see what life is like. We kind of peel the curtains away to see what life is like, not only doing training, but life after training. Why are you laughing?
It reminds me of the Wizard of Oz. You pull the curtain back to see the wizard, and that's what we're doing.
To see the wizard.
You
yeah.
can see the wizard.
And hey,
Well, I don't know who the wizard is, but
It's you.
It's
No,
Chris.
it's not
You're the
me.
wizard.
No.
Well, I guess that maybe all together. All together, we make up Oz here.
Yeah.
And hey, I look forward to talking to everybody. So feel
Yeah.
free to reach out, and I'm here to help.
All right. Yeah. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our app. We have a CCTG app, which you could download through an Android or the what the hell is it, Joe?
iPhone.
The iPhone platform. Thanks, Joe. That's why I keep you.
That's why
Yeah,
Joe's
listen.
That's why Joe's here.
I'll
So
stay here as long as you'll have me.
They don't have me doing marketing.
I'm never leaving. I love this job.
download that to see behind the scenes content, which we're going to have some behind the scenes content this week, actually,
Yes,
the
we are.
training. So we have to schedule that, by the way. But in any event, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and we will catch you on the next one. Take care, guys. There are just too many commercial loan brokers that don't have a damn clue of what they're doing. All we're trying to do here is better the industry for everybody. At the end of the day, you can make great money in this industry, but in the end, it's all about helping people. People always say, Chris, how can I be a successful broker? It's 2 words, hard work and dedication. If you don't like talking to people, you probably shouldn't be in this business.